So today I went to a tax update, which, surprise, slightly dull. Normally I thoroughly enjoy these, but tonight was sort of a mix of really technical tax professionals, like they live and breathe the income tax act or sales tax or whatever it is that they do, and they just that's what they do all day. That's certainly not what I do all day. I'm a general practitioner, so my level of tax knowledge is not nearly as in-depth as those guys. And so they were trying to cater to everybody, and I just didn't. Anyways, not the point. Till the last guy. Oh my goodness. So the Chief Justice of the Tax Court of Canada, like the highest tax court of Canada, was here, and he chatted with us for a bit. Oh my goodness. So cool. I wish I could have chatted with him after. He's from PEI, and he's only been Chief Justice for a few years. I don't know how many years. Doesn't matter. But he was so funny. Yeah, the Chief Justice of the Tax Court of Canada is hilarious. And he was telling us what the most important court in Canada was. And he's a little biased, obviously, because he runs one of them. But he was saying that the Tax Court of Canada really is the most important court in Canada because they deal with issues that affect Canadians in their day-to-day lives, right? He said if you ask Canadians generally what the three most important things in their life is, they're going to say their family and their health and their money. And the Tax Court of Canada deals with their money and saving it and paying taxes, that kind of thing. So I think he might be right. He makes a good point. He was telling us about the tax court, and that he very much tries to instill this idea with everybody that works there that a tax court is for the people. It's not for anybody else. It's for the people. That his goal is that every person that is in that tax court feels heard and like they had their day, even if they lose, that they had their day. He actually has a letter from a taxpayer, he said, from a woman who said, thank you so much. I felt very heard. I felt I had a very fair trial. And she lost, but she still felt good about the day. Probably didn't feel great about whatever penalties. He didn't go into details, but anyways. So yeah, he was telling us about that, I didn't know this, but judges actually go across Canada. They're based in Ottawa, but then they go across Canada to sit cases, preside over cases. I don't know, they hear cases all over Canada. And then they have 13 actual places that are theirs. The Tax Court of Canada has 13 buildings across Canada. And otherwise, they just operate in whatever's there. So they operate in 57 cities, 44 weeks out of the year, which is a lot. And he said, as Chief Justice, that he gets to say where the judges will sit, what cases they'll sit, where they'll sit them, and when. So he's got 4 things that he's kind of in charge of. But that's it. Only those 4 things, which sounds like a lot. And at first I was like, yeah, well, what else are you gonna do? But he was like, I have no control over my budget. He's got no authority over the actual facilities. He's got no authority over his IT. No, nobody actually works for him. His assistant doesn't actually work for him. She works for the government. And he's just he was explaining how it all works together. He's got there's 100 people that work for the tax court, and they've got thousands of cases that they see every year. And yeah, he's not in control of even, he can't buy a pencil. He's I am supposed to administrate or make sure all of these tax cases are seen and heard, and thousands, millions of dollars, but he can't spend a nickel Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And I never really considered, like, how do you run a whole, not department, but like pretty large team of people with a very important job if you can't like spend money and they don't work for you and you have no IT department, and like, how does that work? He said the government at one point, they were like, he was waiting for his budget. Like, it wasn't even his budget and he had no say in it. He just needed to know what it was. And it was like 4 months after the year had ended, like the fiscal year had ended. And he's like, I don't know, you guys gotta tell me what my budget is. So yeah, I had no idea that's how the tax court worked. That I'm sure that's like, I can't imagine how frustrating that must be for him, trying to like get all this stuff done, and he's doing really important work, and he just can't, like, the bureaucracy that he has to deal with as the Chief Justice, man, that's next level. That is next level. Man, you know what else he was saying? He was saying, I took a bunch of notes for you guys so I could recount this because I was super excited about it. He said that there's an International Tax Judges Association. I don't know if I said that right. But yeah, that his predecessor, Chief Justice Rip, I think that's his name. I heard Rip. I was at the back of the room. Started this association, and there's just a bunch of tax judges from all kinds of countries, and they like talk to each other and work together, I guess. I don't know exactly what they do, but it sounded cool. And this guy's the president of that association. So that's, man, tax judges just chatting with each other. That's probably really good, honestly, that like they can just talk to each other about the different laws that are happening in their countries and, you know, hopefully bring that back to their governments. But it sounds like our government doesn't really give them any authority, so maybe it's not really working. Anyways, yeah, that's basically the like meat and potatoes of, that was a weird, I've never said that in my life. Meat and potatoes. That was the bulk of what I had written in notes. He was so cool. Oh my goodness. He was like joking with the panelists because one of the panelists had like said something about one of his decisions at one point, like not in the night tonight, but he's an economist. I don't know. But he had like disagreed rather strongly with some of the decisions of this guy, and so the guy was like, oh yeah, I didn't hear you talking about any of my decisions tonight, like, oh, I know how you feel about it. The poor guy's like, ooh. Like, no, it's good. Yeah, anyways, that was the highlight of the night, listening to the Chief Justice of the Tax Court of Canada, which I did not expect to be the highlight, which is actually, now that it's come out of my mouth, super not okay of me to think, because I've just like prejudged this guy because of his job, which is exactly what I hate when people do to me, because I don't think that I'm fit into the accountant box. Anyways, yeah, so if you look this guy up on YouTube, I don't know if he's got to have speeches on YouTube. Maybe I'll look one up and try and link to it or something. But yeah, very cool guy. And learned some stuff about the Tax Court of Canada that I didn't know. What are the 3 most important things in your life? Do you think that he's right? Do you think that the Tax Court of Canada is the most important court? I mean, the Supreme Court definitely deals with some good stuff, like the Charter of Rights. That's a good one. But his thought was that people never wake up in the morning and think, man, I am so glad I can talk today. I'm so glad that they gave me that freedom. No, they wake up and they say, how am I going to pay the mortgage? How am I going to pay my taxes? How am I going to even do my taxes? How am I going to put gas in my car? That's the thing that people think about. So, the tax court is dealing with that stuff. Anyway, so I would love to hear what the 3 most important things in your life are, and whether you agree that the tax court is in fact the best court in Canada. I'll see you tomorrow.